we have then we have changed we have added an action greeting in controller. I will increase the font and I will change the stuff. So this is the simple application, Rails application that we have created yesterday, and simply we have added here one in controller. We have added simple action saying hello world in the controller which is in controller folder, and that which is in app folder here. So this is the simple application. Then we have added the root which is in config folder. We have added a root to access this hello action. This hello action is in application controller. So we have added a root to access this hello action. So whenever I try to access this application, it will display hello world for me. So let me start the application server in hello app. So I am changing to the directory of the hello app project. Then I am starting the application server. Since it is cloud platform, I am starting with a different command. If I go back to the slide, so I have included the commands. If you are running the application from your system, then you will change to the project folder, then you will just simply run Rails server. But if you are running the application from cloud environment c9.io, as I am trying now, then you will change to the project folder, then you will enter Rails server -b$IP -p$port. This is the command to start the application server. Without running this application server, you will not be able to access the application. So now once you run this command, you should be able to access the application from browser. Then from normal desktop, once you start the application server from normal desktop, the application will be available at the root URL https localhost:3000 port. At the port 3000 from your own system, you will be able to access the application that you are developing here. But if it is the cloud project, then I am not sure if you are able to see this that I have marked in red. But it will at that in this cloud application, once you start the application server, then it will give you virtual IP, virtual host name, where you will be able to access the application. So just you click on the green link here, where I marked in red. There it will display one green colored link. There your application server will be available, the root home page of the application. So now I will again come back to desktop sharing. So I am entering command to start the application server. -p$port. So if I run this command, now you should be able to see the base URL that it will display here. It is starting the application server. Sorry, there is some problem here. I am creating new Rails application. There is some problem with the old project that I have created previously. I am creating new project, and I will include So it has created hello new project for me. With Rails new hello app. Then I will include an action in controller to display hello page.
Oh, good. మొన్న ఈసీ గారు వచ్చారు, అది రాత్రి మీకు ఎలా చెప్తారు, అక్కడే ఉంటారు. ఇంకా జనం అందరు కదా అక్కడే ఉంటారు.
These are the actions that we did yesterday as well to create simple application. Now I have created an action greeting in application controller .rb file. Now I will save this. Now I will include a root for this action to be available from outside the application. I will include a root. If I include the URL using root keyword here, then the action is available in the application controller. So I am saying application #hello action. So if I include a URL using root ROOT keyword, then it is available on the home page itself. The action is available on the home page itself. I will save this. Now I will start. I will from the command line here, I will go back to the my project folder hello app. Then I will try to run the application server. I hope you are able to see this font. If I increase the font, it will get some problem. Okay. Now I am running the application server. Yeah. If you see from the once you start the application server from command line, it will display a virtual base URL, home page URL here. If I click on this URL, then my application will be available on this link. So I am clicking on this green color link. One minute. Sorry, the action that we have included in application controller is greeting. It is not hello. So I will put the greeting here. I will save. Then if I refresh, since I have included this URL with ROOT keyword, the action should be available on the home page itself. So if I refresh the home page, I should be able to see hello world here. Let us say you don't want home page itself should have the word like the action you want to access on the different page. Then you will say get application/greeting. Now if I save this, then the home page will not display the action itself. It will display the standard Rails home page. Now I will be able to access the greeting if I specify application/greeting in the URL page. The base URL will be always same. You are just adding the action detail in the URL. So application/greeting I have added. Now I should be able to see hello world. But if instead of get, if you specify root and then application/greeting, I have saved. Now if I refresh and go to home page, then I should be able to see the hello world. I will not be able to access the greeting at application/greeting. There is error because there is no root for this URL here. The root, the URL I have changed to home page. Instead of writing get that URL, I have changed the application greeting action to home page. So only home page can access the greeting. So this is how the roots can be added. If you want it at home page, any action if you want it at home page, you will specify the ROOT keyword, then you will specify the action that you have included in the controller. Otherwise, you can directly specify the action using get. Then you will use slash instead of hash. So if you specify here, this means a URL application slash greeting is available with the base URL. So base URL slash application slash greeting. Let me save this once. So base URL slash application slash greeting will do the function that is specified in greeting here, that is rendering the text hello world. So this is how we write the roots URLs in the roots.rb file. Now let me create one more a little more complex one. For example, I don't want the application controller itself to do the functionality for me, because I cannot write a little more stylish home page or little more stylish page which specify the greeting here. So I will create one another application, Rails application, and I will create a control its own controller, greeting controller, instead of using application controller here. So the benefit of using different controller is I can add styling and different HTML page so that it will display little more details than using application controller. So let me create, I will start this server here, Control C will stop this server and will come back to command line. I will go back to the workspace, then I will create another application project, Rails new, let us say greeting controller project, where I am going to create new controller greeting or welcome page controller Rails. Okay, I am creating a new project with the name welcome controller Rails, welcome page controller Rails. You see here it is not there, just now it got created. So let it create the project. Okay, the project got created here. Now I will go to the project. If you see in the application folder, in the controllers folder, right now there is no any extra controller, but I want to create a controller so that I can specify my new functionality in that controller instead of using application controller. And also, if you see in the views layouts, in the views folder, which is in my project, in the app folder, in the views folder, there is no extra functional view. This is in this views folder itself. We will be specifying our HTML pages. What is the HTML content that should be displayed in the browser, that we will specify here. But since there is no extra functionality here, now if I will come back to command line, I will go to this welcome page new Rails project folder, welcome page controller Rails. This is the new folder. In that folder, I will try to generate new controller here. Rails command is Rails generate controller welcome page. Okay. I think you are able to see here. Welcome page. I am adding this new controller so that in this new controller I will specify the new action, a new functionality to greet you, so that I can even include a HTML content how to greet, because the previous welcome message is very basic one. It doesn't have much details in it. So I am creating new controller. So if you see in controllers, it should add new controller. If I refresh here, see, welcome page controller got created. And also now if I open this, now in this controller I will add new action define greeting, and instead of directly rendering the text, in this action itself, I want to specify what is the HTML content in this greeting page. Once I try to access this command, functionality. So here I am creating new in views folder. I am creating new 1 minute. New folder saying the controller name. Controller name is welcome page. So, and also the main thing that you have to observe is, the folder is already got created. Because since I have created the controller, it has also automatically created the welcome page controller. So, but it doesn't have any HTML page in it to specify how the greeting action should render the welcome message. So, I am creating a HTML page. Why it is called html.erb means in this HTML page we also embed some Ruby commands also, and how Ruby commands we can include in HTML content using percentage equal to and percentage tag. Between this percentage equal to and percentage tag we can include Ruby commands also. At the end, while executing the project, it will convert the Ruby commands into the HTML content. I will remove this one. I will write some HTML content. Let us say H1 here, and I will write welcome to sample demo project to demo welcome controller. Now I will include another heading. whereas it will specify greeting message. I am also including a link because just to demo how the type of content that you can include in html.erb file. You can browse Rails tutorial. I am including href tag a href equal to www.google.com. Now I want to include some dynamic content. The previous simple application, when you at any point of time, if you access that application, if you try to access that application, it will always display hello, good morning. It doesn't change any content. But let us try to include some dynamic content where every time that you access this application, along with the greeting messages here, welcome messages, it will also display the current time. If you access this application today, it will display today's date and today's time, the time at which you access. If you tomorrow try to access this application, it will display tomorrow date. That way it will display at least some dynamic content. I am trying to include current time. So to access the current time, I am embedding Ruby functionality here using percentage equal to time dot now, and I am closing this tag again using percentage equal to 1 minute. Yeah, this is the way. So this is the content I want to display in the new functionality that I have added in welcome page controller define greeting. I am not specifying any content here. Instead, whenever a request comes to greeting action, it will redirect the request to this html.erb file. .erb means embedded Ruby also will be there in this HTML page. That is why I didn't use default application controller as I have used in previous Rails project. I have added new welcome page controller using the command Rails generate. I'm not Rails generate. The command is Rails generate, then controller and controller name. Rails generate controller name like welcome page controller something. Then automatically a controller will be added in the app controller folder, and also automatically a folder with controller name will be created in views. Then in this folder you can include your html.erb file. Okay, so I will save this file. Then okay, now you have included action in controller, and also you have included HTML content to be displayed when this action is requested. But you cannot access this action unless you specify a root in config routes.rb file. So to be able to access outside from this application, to let the user access this new functionality in this application, you need to specify a root. So I am specifying get, because this greeting action is in welcome page controller. I will specify welcome page /greeting. Now I should be able to access this this greeting functionality from base URL / welcome page / greeting. This is the extra that we need to add to the base URL to get this functionality. Now let me save this one as well.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
So I have saved all the files. Now let us come back to the command line. Now again I'm trying to run the application server for this new project. So Rails server -d $IP -t $4. If I run this, I will get a virtual base URL for this application where this application server is running. I have started the server. So I got this. See, if you click on this green color link, it will be the base URL for this application. But base URL will always display standard Ruby welcome page. This is the standard Ruby welcome page because I didn't specify any action to be there for home page, which is I didn't specify any root URL for ROOT root keyword. So since there is no such URL for ROOT keyword, there is no any specific home page here. So it will display Rails default home page. Now I will go to the address bar and I will add welcome page / greeting to the base URL. I have kept the base URL that is specified in here when I started the Rails server, and then I am adding / welcome page / greeting to this base URL. Now if I try to access this greeting, see, this is the welcome message I got this time. It is specifying different greeting messages that I have included in greeting.html.erp. Now it is also specifying the current time because I have included some Ruby commands or Ruby code into this percentage equal to tags. So time dot now is a Ruby predefined class with now is predefined function in this time class. It will always display the current time. So this is what I got. If I refresh this page, again this content time, though this welcome messages always be there, this content will be updated. 446. So if I refresh this page again, see 447, the content got updated because it is the next minute. So this is how you can write your own functionality instead of using default controllers, because that is using your own controller you can specify the HTML, many complex HTML content also you can include in the new controller that you create using new html.erb files in use. So whenever you are creating new page, you will create your controller and you will specify the action used on which you will be able to browse the page, and then for that home page, for that page you will create some HTML content in html.erb. The ERB file's name greeting should be same as the functionality that you have defined here. Define greeting, that means there will be a HTML page as well for greeting functionality in use folder. Okay, so now let us create a little more complex web application. Since now you know for simple applications you can use application controller and a little more complex applications like there is only one action and there is no you have to know for the two Rails projects that I have created, there is no data that you need to save in database. That means there is no entities, like for example in ticket management system, ticket is the entity. For student management system, students or hall tickets, all those things are entities. But in these two applications, there is no data that I had to save in the database. There is only one static page, but in this static page, I have included some dynamic content in the second Rails project. But at least there is no data that you need to save in the database. Now, let us create one application where you have to save some data into the database. For example, let me show you what is the type of application that I want to create. CD. I'm showing one application, simple application only that I have created in my laptop. I'm starting the web servers application server. If you note, because I'm using the project in my laptop, I'm just entering the command Rails server to start the application server. So it got started and it is saying I can access the application at HTTP localhost 3000. So let me try to access this application at HTTP localhost 3000. But since I want to show you what is the application that I want to create, let me go to users.new. So when I go to users.new, it will display, this is the type of application that I want to create. So when I go to base URL /users/new, it will display some text box with name and email details. Whenever I enter these details and click on the create my account, for example, I have entered Srilata test user. Then I am creating the details as Srilata test user at gmail.com. These are the details I have entered, and if I click on my on this create my account button, it should display the details of the user that I have created. So this is the application that I want to create now. In the cloud environment, I want to again create such a application, because if you see here, it is called a form here, because there are some text boxes, and whenever I enter details and click on this submit button, the data that is displayed on this button is create my account. But since it is a form, at the back end it is called submit button. So once I click on this create my account button, that these details should be stored in my database. If you, and also I have already created some 8 users already, and this is Srilata test user is 9th user. So all these test user details I should be able to access. For example, users slash, if I give URL as users/1, it should display the first user that I have created. This is the first user that I have created when I started this application. So all these details, user details, I should be able to access. How I am able to access, how my project was able to remember all these details is because whenever I have clicked on this create my account button, it is storing all these details in the database. That is why whenever I request all these users details, for example 4th user detail, then it will display the 4th user details. This is the 4th user I have created yesterday, not today. Yesterday I have created, but it was able to display the 4th user details or 5th user detail. This is the 5th user I have created. So in this example, there is a form This is the users/new page in which I enter the details of the user, and it should store the user details, and whenever I try to access these users details, it should display the users details here. And also after creating my user, it should be able to display the just now created user details. If I create, since it is success, it was able to store the user details. It has displayed the user details here. This is the application that I want to create now. So for this, I'm going back to cloud environment. I'm stopping the server. Now I will go back to the workspace to create new Rails new user Rails project, because in this project I am going to create a user entity to manage the users. For example, in Twitter they need to manage lot many users, so even they will also be writing code similar to what we are going to write now. Rails new user Rails project. And also just for your information, even Twitter used to use Rails only to manage their Twitter application, but just some time back they got some scalability issues when users numbers exceeded lakhs of users, so they changed it to some other technology, but previously they used to use Rails technology only. So it has created user Rails project. And close on this. Now, so this is the project, but in this project now I want to add user entity, because this project is going to manage users. It will let you create the users, it will let you display you access the each and every user details, and also it will store all these users details in database. So for that, for each and every user and like any entity that you are going to create in application, first you need to generate controller for that user that entity. So I am going to generate, sorry, I need to change to my project folder. So I am going to my project folder user Rails project. Here you will generate just a minute. Rails generate controller name users. If you see, I am creating the name with plural case, like Rails generate controller. Always the controller will be whenever you are creating an entity, the controller for this entity will be specified in plural. So Rails generate controller users I am specifying here. So if you come to controllers, it has created users controller. If you see users controller or any controller that you create will be inheriting the parent class application controller. This is Ruby on Rails predefined controller class. So because it is inheriting this controller, it will also inherit lot of functionality. So even if you doesn't see any code here, it is still having lot of functionality already defined for this. Now controller itself is not enough for us. we want to create a model class. That is what we are actually planning. So Rails generate. I am going to create a model class. The model class that you will be able to see, the new model class you will be able to see in app folder, models folder. Here whatever new model class that I am going to create will be available there. Model. Now this time I will specify in singular form. So to create the controller I have specified users here, but while trying to generate a model class I will specify in singular. This is also one thing that you have to know in Ruby on Rails project. User, and also I need to specify the attributes, because controller is just to define actions that are allowed on this user class, but this model class is to understand what are the different attributes of this user, so that you have to save. So when I have shown you the previous project, these are the attributes of the user: name and email. Each and every user has these attributes. User name will be there, user has some email address. So these are the attributes that I want to specify: name, string, and email string. So these are the attributes that I want to specify. It will generate a model class. Why we need model class in Ruby on Rails is so that this model class can talk to database. I am not specifying any database code. Instead, when I generate a model class, it will automatically generate database tables for me. Just generating a model class will generate database tables also for me. And where I am specifying what type of database I want to use is in config folder. You can specify any type of in config folder. If you come to database.yml file, you see the default database I am going to use for this project, creating this demo project, is SQLite 3. You can specify if you want to use Oracle, then you will specify Oracle. It is the only code that you are going to write for the database. In the database YML file, you will specify the database type that you want to use. The backend, because in other projects, if you are going to use Oracle, you need to write lots of pages of code, not even simple code, lots of pages of code to create database tables for Oracle. And this code will be different if you are going to use MySQL, or if you are going to use PostgreSQL, this code will be different. So along with writing classes, you will have to write code for creating database tables, all those things. But in Ruby, you will just specify what type of database that you want to use for this project. I have used SQLite here, and I am not going to use I am not going to write any code how to generate database tables, all those things. Instead, I am generating a model class. It will create a model class, and also along with that, if you see, it will also define database tables. It will create database and it will create database tables for me. So this is the command: Rails generate model user singular user. While for controller, while creating controller, it is plural users. So user and user attributes, name and email, which are both are strings here. So I am generating this. So in model, if I refresh here, so user.id, it is the model class that has been created when I generated this model class. This user class also is inheriting some Ruby Rails predefined class, active record. So it will get also lot of many different functionalities already available for this. You don't need to write all that code. Only extra code that you need to write, that will be there. And also if I refresh on DB folder is in config folder. If you see here, sorry, DB folder is its own DB folder, which is in our Rails project. If I refresh on this DB folder, see this migrate folder got created, and also there is one users table got created with the same attributes that we have specified. But in database, these are called columns that are in that table. Users table got created when we created users class, model class. When we created users model class in model using this Ruby Rails generate model user, it created user class, and also it created user table in the database. The database behind my demo project is SQLite 3, but I didn't need to concern myself about all these things about the database. Just I specified SQLite 3. Now after creating a model class, since new database table got created, I want to persist. It just created. It didn't yet save this table details in the database. So to specify Ruby on Rails that it needs to save this persist this table in the database, I am giving one more command, bundle execute save db. I am putting all these commands to create in the chat window. I am putting the commands to create controller class, Rails generate controller, then controller name, whatever controller name you want to give, you will give in this less than greater than brackets. Then are you able to see it? Did you get the command? I am not able to see the command in the chat window, but I am hoping that you have got this one. Or let me put one more time to create controller. Command is Rails generate controller name. This is the variable that we are going to see. Again, I am not able to see it. Okay. Otherwise, so I will show you here. Just try to note down. The command is to generate the controller. Rails generate controller users. Users is the name I have used here. You can use different name if you want. Rails generate controller users. Then after that, since you have created the controller for the model class, now you will create the model class itself using Rails generate model user. User is the model class name that I have used, which is singular, and I will specify the attributes of the class. Now since I want to persist these tables in the database, I will give the command bundle execute rake db : migrate. There is no extra space after colon. Bundle execute rake db migrate. So if I give this command, it will save the database tables into the database, and also will generate original table into the database. If you see here in the DB folder, if I refresh on this,
Madam,
See, it has now saved the table details into the schema. It has generated the original schema into the database. And also it will include whenever we generate a table in Ruby on Rails, along with the attributes, it will generate 3 more attributes for created and updated it, because for backend maintenance it will create these columns, and also it will generate ID column for each user. It will create unique ID for that user. It didn't specify that column name here, but at the backend it will create ID. All these details I am able to access is because users/1 is because the first user ID is 1. That way. So these are the details that it will include in the original table. Now okay. Now I have model class, controller, and also database tables. 1 minute. Do you have class, next class, or can I continue for 10 more minutes? Because this is the final class. I want to conclude. Otherwise, I will explain from the project that I have already had. Let me know if any one of you has class, next class. I will stop here because there is no next class. But as I have yesterday, I have given you the book, right? In that book, all these projects are already there. How to create all these projects? You can go through the project even if I can't conclude now. This is the book. Just now I have put in the chat window. Shall I continue, or do you have any other class, any college? So I am continuing because I didn't get any college specifying whether that they have any class now. So I am going to continue. So okay. So now in this controller there are no actions right now, but since the first user, the first action that you want to create is new, to create the new user. So whenever you want to access the new action, you will specify I will create please tell me, shall I continue or shall I stop? Because this project is already there in this book, but we have the class, then I will stop. So here, this is also the same project, same functionality that I have explained. User will be the application user will be able to create user details, and also that you will be able to see the created user details, and all these details will be persisted in the database. So in the user first, you will specify the actions that you will be providing on the user entity, user details that will store in the database. There will be multiple users, but the actions that are possible on the user is you will be able to create new user, you will be able to see the user details. You cannot edit the user once you create it. So there is no edit action here. Only create and view and show user details are there. There is no edit or there is no update action here. And also you cannot delete the user once you create it. That is why you will not be able to delete the user. There is no action for delete. So I come back to the slides. Always we have gone through what is the gem file, what is the moocs.rb, and also installation file we have seen file, simple hello world project. So now we are going to create the user management class. So it's a user management project. In this user management project we are going to create a model class, and we are going to include ERP file, HTML.ERP file, new file, where how we are going to specify how to user details, user serial, how to create the user details, HTML content, and we are going to create controller class. And then, okay, so whenever I create a user entity, and in roots page, roots.rb file, I can specify user as a resource. Then if I specify like that, instead of get some path, instead of get some path, if I specify resource user, then I will be automatically able to including all these paths. So /user/1. That means I am trying to access first user details. /user/new means, and this is the page where new user will be created. So all these paths I will be already including into the application if I specify. Roots.rb file. If I specify resources, with these resources, if I specify users, that means these are always same as including get / all these details in my application. Instead of specifying all these words, I am just including resources :users. It will automatically include all these paths for me in the roots.rb file. So whenever I am creating new resource, I will just specify resource users instead of specifying all these paths. So in this part, if you see that the second, third and fourth are the ones that we are going to include now. Where users/access users/group my application, and the page I will get is where the form is there to specify username and email. Then once I create the user details, so how I am going to create, how my project knows, my Rails project knows that it should create is because the form, the submit button will automatically redirect to the post action of the, right, get post all these actions of the HTTP protocol. HTTP protocol, first means it is trying to request a page, but from the page it is trying to send some details to my application. In this case, I am trying to send user details, username and email details to the application so that my application can store those details. That means I am trying to post some details from my browser. So in this user slash new page, the form is created. So the submit button, when I click on the create user button, it is trying to submit some details. So that is automatically it is trying to create some details in the application. So it will automatically redirect to the create action page. And then once creation is done, it will automatically redirect to the my application will automatically redirect to the first user details that just now I have created. Whatever the ID the user has will automatically redirect to the first user, that is we have created third user. Then it will automatically redirect to slash user slash path, URL path. So these are the three that we are trying to create now. But I am not allowing any that user to be updated or to be tested. That is the user. So these actions that I am not going to include in users controller. Only these three actions will be there in users controller. This same as this one. I will explain this part later. So I have included resources user, so I have got all the routes that I wanted to use, but among them I will be all the routes means all these routes I will be able to get if I use resources :user in my routes.rb file. So that is why I have included them. But among all those routes, I will be developing only second, third, and fourth actions only. So second, third, and fourth actions are show, new, and create actions. Only these three actions I am going to implement in my user on my user's entity. So I have included user present equal to user.new. This means this user.new is the instance of the model class here, user class. So if I define new action, this means in this page, new action page, I am trying to create a new user. It will get an empty user. If it doesn't have any details here, it will create an empty user. I am not assigning any attributes for the user. It will create an empty user. That is why you will see a form data there, but only once you enter some details and try to submit, it will go to the create action here. It will automatically redirect to the create action in the user's controller. Here what I am trying to do is, I am trying to create a new user with some parameters. These parameters will be there in the post data. The post JSON. This is the JSON data that your browser tries to send to the application. These are the details. User params here will be here. Name and email details will be there in post data that your browser tries to send to the application. When you try to click on the submit button, then create action will be activated. Now once these details are saved in the database, it will redirect to the user present details to be displayed on the browser. How they will be displayed is using show method here. These are saved in the database. The browser will not have any details once the new page got redirected to other page. Again, it needs to find from the database only. All these user.find or user.view, all these are coming from user class here, model class. So this model class again will try to fetch the user details from the database. So this is how you write the code. You can even include CSS styling in your assets page here, style sheets. You can include some lot of styling here. For example, I have written a sample application where I have included lot of styling, custom styling. So because of this, your page can become little more good looking than some simple text boxes are displayed. So also for this user I am not including any validation, but you can write more validation like it will only allow only 15 characters in the name or only 15 characters in the email name, all those validations. The email should contain valid email name instead of allowing any characters to be allowed. All those validations also you can write in user class. For some other application, I have written. See, these are the validations that I have included here. Instead of allowing any type of username to be entered in the name text box, I have done some validation. That without entering name, I cannot create. I cannot click on the create user button. So these type of validations also you can include. Also, if there is any association with the, for example, in the Twitter, every user can have multiple posts. You can post multiple posts in the Twitter. So that type of validation also you can include here. So this is how you will develop a sample application, and there can be multiple complex entities and the associations between them. All this can be using your Rails projects. But for the basic tasks are, for any entity that you are going to create, first you will create controller for that entity, then you will include the actions that are allowed on the entity. Then you will create a model class on that entity. Then you will write some HTML ERB file. So, which is there in use folder. For user, I have written how the new page should display, how the show page should display. Here, once I created the user, it is displaying user name, user email details. That is what I have included in the show HTML ERB action, which is this show I have written here, and it is sending the entire user instance details to ERB file. Now this ERB file is fetching the name and email attributes from the user present instance here, and it is displaying using comma, separating the comma. This is the Ruby way how to get the name and email attributes from the user present instance. I have included them in the percentage equal to percentage because this is Ruby code here. And using comma and separating the details that are being displayed in show page. So I have used show means here user slash and user slash 1 in user details. So I will stop here. This is how you will be able to create Ruby and Rails projects. All three projects are very simple that I have created, but please go through the tutorial guide I have shown you. This tutorial is written based on the cloud environment only. So each and every step that you can practice here, that you learn in this guide, you can practice in the cloud environment that I have given. Anything that is right in the guide about GitHub, you can note. For example, he says that how to check in the code in the GitHub, all those things. So all these GitHub details you can ignore about them. How to include code in the GitHub, all those things. But you can create the Rails project using this command and this guide tutorial. Where these usernames and passwords are stored. These are stored in database. We are not writing any database code, but when we try to create some model class, it will automatically generate the database table. So once we enter details in new page, we enter the test new user. I am creating a new user, for example here, and I create this user using create my account button. These details will be stored. Sorry, I am not running the application, but if I try to create my account, it should display the user details here. Test new user at gmail.com. But when I submitted this button, these details will be posted. This browser is posting these new user details to my application. So that is the create action here, and the create action in this controller. It is getting these details, user param or parameter ID. These are the details that we are getting from the browser, and these are in JSON format. That is, I am using key value pairs, right? So I am specifying the key, and the value will be stored. Name is the key here, and its value whatever I enter here in this text box will be stored in the database. My model class itself will take care of how to store these details. Model class here, so there is no coding here. This active record class has all the functionality that is required to store these details in the database. So that is why this user.new is create new user details, and when I press the create my user button here, create my account, it will save the details using the functionality that is already there in active record class. Other questions? Here any local web server, is there any local web server for Rails? You can use Cloud9, right? There should not be any problem using Cloud9. It is local one only. Because you doesn't have Ruby installed in your system, you are using Cloud9. But if you search online how to install Ruby on Rails, there will be some guidelines how to install Ruby on Rails. Then from your system itself you can access you can create the Ruby projects. So you will give Ruby Rails server command to start the application, and you can access the application at localhost 3000 port. But since you doesn't have this software installed in your system or in your college lab, I am giving you one link where you can practice the projects. But you can use just the only detail that is required is your email ID. You need to register using your email ID. Yeah, I have allowed it this PPT here. Are you not able to download? This updated PPT today allowed to be downloaded by you. Just try once. And also I have included all the Ruby example programs that we have developed and that I have explained in all the sessions. Using name of the Ruby program as a slide number. Try to download all of them. If you are not able to download, it will take time to allow for each and every program. So please try to contact Jntuk so that he can allow you to download them. Because even if I allow them, if I close this document and open another document, it is going back to deny state. That is why there are many programs are there, at least some 40 to 50 files are there, right? So each and every slide I have included different programs. So 50 programs I can't allow again one by one. So try to contact Venkat program coordinators. Maybe he will be able to supply all those files. But I have included them in library Ruby examples, Ruby daily sessions programs folder is the one. Or if you are trying to access from Jntuk Kakinada folder, then it is in Web Technologies chapter 14 daily sessions Ruby programs. That is the folder. Are you able to download this PPT? Okay. Then I will start here. Programs, please contact Venkat. Tell him they are in, otherwise I will tell him where they are there. Maybe he will be able to supply. If you see, are you able to get to the Ruby folder here? For example, I have opened equality.txt file. It is going back to delete it. Again, I have to put allow state. There are some 40 to 50 programs are there, so it will take time to allow all of them here. You can please contact Venkat. The folder is in My Documents, Ruby Examples, Ruby Daily Sessions Programs. This is the folder where I have included all the programs. My Documents, Ruby Examples, Ruby Daily Sessions Programs. Okay, I will stop here, and I hope this Ruby and Rails sessions are helpful to you. Just check the link, and also you can practice Ruby in the tutorial point try it now option. I will also give that link and I will start. So this is the try it option here. If you open tutorial point, this link here. If you open this link and if you click on this try it option, it is down here, try it option. So as long as your programs are just entire your program is in just one file instead of multiple files, and also as long as you doesn't need any inputs from the command line, you can execute your programs in this place. You can remove the existing program code and you can write your own root programs and you can practice. If you click on the execute, it will try to execute here. For example, if I try to print some name and I try to execute, this Ruby code will be executed. So here you can practice your Ruby code, and this here c9.io you can practice Rails project. If you search online, you will be able to install Ruby. It is easy only, but it will take some time. So if you are able to install, you can try to practice from your own system desktop. So I will stop here. Okay, programs, there are some 50-60 programs, so I can't allow them each one by one now. So I will try to communicate to Venkat telling how to supply these programs, because I have already included them in the library. But each and everyone, yesterday I have allowed every program, but again they went back to deny state. So I will tell the program coordinator, and also you can check with him, Venkatesh, how to download these programs. Okay, so I will start.